If you have been listening to music over the past years, then you probably heard about Autotune. Why is Autotune popular in the music industry? Artists like Justin Bieber, Paul G, top rappers even prefer Autotune on their vocals. So the question is, why Autotune? How do you use Autotune? Don't worry, today I'm gonna discuss everything to you. If you are a completely beginner, the real way to use Autotune to achieve a perfect vocals. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna introduce you to a free Autotune that you can actually use to take your music to the next level if you are on a budget. So without wasting much of your time, let's start right after the intro. Autotune version 1 was released in 1997, of which I wasn't even born. Right from there have been a lot of different versions of Autotune. Think of Autotune Artist, Autotune Pro, Autotune EFS Plus, and even Autotune Hybrid, which comes with different tuning effects that can take your vocals to the next level. Now let's address the very first question: why Autotune? Obviously, you guys will understand when we look at it in a practical way. So anytime you pick a vocals and you double click, you can actually right click here, edit in pitch corrector, and this gonna load the new thing. Now let's listen to these vocals and I'm gonna explain things to you.
Lead me astray.
When you watch here, you can actually see there are dynamics in page. How do you correct this dynamic in page? We want to set a particular key that every vocals, or every note will be played on the same pitch, right? This is why we introduce the Autotune. And if you watch here, this knob is the routine speed. So the more you crank it all the way to 0%, the more you strengthen the pitch. The more you make the pitch stay in a particular key. All right, so now listen to that.
Lead me astray.
The next knob to consider is the trans knob or the humanized knob. We crank this knob or release to add sustain to long notes so that we will sound natural. All right, so I'm gonna reset everything. Now that you know the basics of Autotune, why we use it, let me introduce the Antares Autotune so that we can actually understand how to use Autotune perfectly on your vocals. Now guys, let's listen to these vocals and I'm gonna introduce Autotune to explain things to you in details, how to use Autotune. The real way to use Autotune to get a perfect vocals. Let's listen to the project first.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original.
Let me mute the instrument so that you can hear the vocals well.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original.
Alright, so let's introduce Autotune. First thing first, we're gonna rank this to the mixer track 1. Alright, now let's open the mixer track. Now let's address the next question: how do you use Autotune perfectly if you're a beginner? In my opinion, to get the right key, I would recommend using auto key together with the Autotune that you are using. Alright, this auto key detector will listen to your vocals and it will tell you the right key if you watch here. So I'm gonna play that on our vocals and guys, it's gonna listen and tell us the key.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original.
Alright, so you can actually see is C major. You can toggle or change between C major or A minor. Alright, now right from here you can actually click on send to Autotune, and I want you to watch here. You're gonna change this one. Now you can actually see it has changed the key for us. Alright, so anytime you open Autotune, as I said, you have to pay attention to the common knobs, which is the routine speed and the humanized knob. Alright, after setting up your scale and setting your key perfectly, and you can actually do that with the help of auto key detector. Next thing you have to pay attention to is the input type. You can play around any of this here. I mostly go for the low mill. Now this is the routine speed as I showed you in the Newton, which was the variation knob. All right, so the more you crank this routine speed all the way up, the more you're gonna sound auto-tune, the more you're gonna feel the T-pain effect. All right, now the next knob that we considered, that was the trans knob in the Newton, is now here, which is the humanized knob. We introduced this to add sustain to long notes so that we can actually sound natural. Anytime we add more routine speed, we sound more robotic, and we don't want to sound more robotic, we want to sound realistic. All right, so we crank this knob to add humanity, sound more natural. So now let's listen to this auto-tune, Antares auto-tune artist on our vocals.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found in a suitcase of a dream packed away?
This is super simple, and you can actually play with the natural vibrator if you want to add this to your vocals. There are a lot of knobs there that you can actually play around. If you're a beginner, I will not advise you to touching this unless you want to create a unique vocals. All right, now that you know this, let's add the beat, and I'm gonna show you something. At this point, I want you to pause the video and do me a simple favor: like the video and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss my upcoming videos. Let's move on, guys. Now we're gonna listen to the whole song together with the auto-tune.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found in a suitcase of a dream packed away?
Alright, so we can actually go to the auto key once again. Then we can change the key from A minor to C major by clicking the swap knob here. Then we can actually click send to auto tune, and this gonna change the key once again. Alright, so you can now see we are in C major. Let's listen to that.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found?
Alright, so you can actually use auto-tune perfectly if you use it together with the auto key detector. If you don't have this auto key detector, then watch the video that will pop up on the screen to know how to use virtual DJ to detect the right key for your vocals. Now guys, next thing I did was I introduced this mic mode. Alright, this is a mic modulator that you can actually use to change your cheap microphone to any expensive microphone. All you need to do is to choose your source mic from here, the mic that you are having now. Then you can actually click here to model it to any of the expensive microphone. You can change it to the Sony C800G. Think of the Newman's microphone. Alright, you can actually browse through the Behringer microphone. You can actually change your microphone to any of these microphones with this plugin. So I'm going to choose the Sony C800G, and next thing that I did was I EQ'd these vocals. Alright, this was my settings. I cut off most of the low ends, this surgical cleaning here, and boosted the high ends a little bit. And lastly, I added reverb. I used the default reverb from FL Studio, the Fruity Reverb 2. If you want free reverbs, then watch the video that will pop up on the screen so that you can actually get free reverbs plugins. Alright, so I'm gonna enable that so that we listen to that.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No notes, no words, just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found in a suitcase of a dream packed away? When you write words down on paper, does it sound like a melody in your head? Does it paint a picture there instead? Don't mean to sound.
Alright, so now guys, if you're a beginner, this is the secret that I'm gonna tell you. If you want to sound more natural, all you need to do is to crank the routine speed to 20% or 30%, all right, and crank the humanize knob to 20% if you are using routine speed 20%, crank it to 30% if you are using 30% routine speed, and you're gonna achieve that natural vocals auto tune.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No, no, it's new words. Just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found in a suitcase of a dream packed away?
Alright guys, so now at this point I promise to show you a free auto tune that you can actually get if you don't have money to invest into expensive auto tunes like this. All you need to do is to click on the link in the description box, and it's gonna take you to where you can actually download Graillon 3. Let's meet Autotune artists. This is a free version of Graillon 3. You can actually pay for you can actually go for the paid version, but if you're on a budget you can actually start with the free version. All right, all you need to do is to click here and browse through the presets here, and all you need to do is to push the smooth knob here, reduce the initials, and guys, now let's listen to this on our vocals.
I wanna sing a song that hasn't been heard before. No, no, it's new words. Just wanna be original. People have their own sound. Where'd it come from? Was it found?
Alright, so the link is in the description box. You can actually click on that to get this auto tune for free. Now that you know how to use auto tune, I want you to click on the next video to know how to compress your vocals. If you're a beginner, without wasting much of your time, turn on the notification bell. Let me know where you are watching me. My name is Gosa. Go and do more music. Come back for more. See you in the next video. Stay blessed.